Welcome to another episode of Adventures with Time, where I chronicle my experiences in watch collecting. This past week, I received a viewer comment, more of a question, from a video I did on choosing between a Stowa and a Laco Flieger watch. And let me read that exact question. I am so confused between Stowa Flieger and Sinn 104 and have budget to buy one of these. Request your opinion on which of these two purchases gives you more satisfaction today. Do you have any concerns regarding Sellita movement in Sinn 104? Now this is an interesting question because it is asking for a decision between two similar but somewhat different watches. Stay tuned to see me compare these two watches and give the viewer my response. Before I get to my response to this question, let's take a look at the facts of these watches. Dimensions on the two are very similar, although the Sinn is 1 millimeter wider in the diameter and 1 millimeter shorter lug to lug. The Sinn is also 1 millimeter thicker, but on the wrist, as you can see in this side-by-side view, the Stowa wears larger, given the longer lug to lug, and I think that the actual dial is much larger than on the Sinn. The Stowa's dial measures about 35 millimeters, while the Sinn's, inside that bezel, is only 30 millimeters. Now the Stowa is going to be a lighter watch, especially for me, given I always wear it on a leather strap, while I wear the Sinn on the H-link bracelet with which I ordered it. But there's no real comfort difference that I can tell. The Stowa uses the ETA 2824-2 movement, while the Sinn uses its relative, or cousin, the Sellita 220-1 movement. And I'll get to the viewer's question about the Sellita movement later. Both oscillate at 28,800 beats per hour, giving the second hands a nice sweeping movement. Both have hacking, good loom, and an equivalent power reserve, although this is a moot point for me, given that they both have automatic movements and never run out of power while on the wrist for the week I wear it. Now the Sinn does have a greater depth rating, partially, I assume, due to the screw-down crown, which the Stowa lacks. But for me, the difference is another moot point, since my personal limit is about 15 feet. Finally, the Sinn has a day-date complication, and of course that rotating bezel, while the Stowa is void of any complications. So those are the facts. Just the facts. So which one would I choose if I had to select either the Stowa or the Sinn? Well, you already know the answer if you watched my previous video where I pretended I had to reduce my collection down to just 3 watches. One of these two was in that final selection. But let me provide some factors that might go into your decision. First, they're both very well made and respected watches with equal quality and similar specifications. Now the Sinn is more expensive. At about $1,500, it's 50% more expensive than what you can get the Stowa for. So if you're limited to how much you can spend on a watch, that is going to play a major role in your decision. Other than that, I think it comes down to styling and versatility. Yes, both are pilot watches, but they differ significantly in styling. The Stowa is a classic Flieger, reminiscent of those manufactured during World War II. And in fact, Stowa was one of the original 5 manufacturers of these watches during that period. Despite modernization of a few attributes, today's version has a similar look and feel to the originals. Of course, the size has been reduced from the original 55 millimeters used by pilots to accommodate the current market. Now, the Sinn, on the other hand, is considered a pilot watch, but is much different. I guess we can consider it a pilot watch, because it has a countdown bezel, which is a complication often required by pilots. But the Sinn, I believe, is suitable for more wearing situations than the Stowa. Whether casual or dress up, its balanced use of both brushed and polished finishes really gives the versatility to this watch, along with its ability to be put on a bracelet. The Stowa, I don't think, would be suitable for a bracelet. I think the Stowa has too much of a tool feel to it to be used in certain situations. In addition to style, the day-date complication on the Sinn makes it more effective for everyday use. So, if limited to just one, I would pick the Sinn over the Stowa due to its broader versatility. But if you're looking for a Flieger in that original design, then I would have to say the Stowa is the one for you. For me, I wanted both. But that's my opinion. What would your choice be? Let us all know in the comments below if you agree with me or you would make different choices, and why. Now on to the other question this viewer asked. So the 2 movements in question, the ETA 2824-2 and the Sellita 220-1, have similar roots. In fact, there's a good article by Theo and Harris that I'll leave a link to in the comments below that compare these 2 movements and gives a brief history. In fact, Sellita used to assemble the ETA movement, so they knew the design inside and out, and eventually made their own version or clone of the ETA movement. Now, I found no difference in both the accuracy and consistency of these 2 movements. I've been getting about +3 seconds a day on both over several weeks in different wearing situations. So I would have to say I have no reservation about buying a watch with a Sellita movement over an ETA movement. Again, and I'm pretty sure my viewers would be interested in your thoughts on these 2 movements. Leave your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button so you're alerted to my upcoming videos.